So can we kill them? I'm pretty sure we can. Let's kill the cube. Take action. We go all in here. We go all in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 12, 12, and 15. But they have to mess up with the block. That's the only way that we truly get out of this. So let's put this here. And let's put this here as well. Try to trip them with the block. They're going to want to block something small so that Emerth survives. But I'm not sure that Emerth... I mean, let's see. It's all up to them now. Smart, but that's game. 3, submit. Very good. Very good. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we are playing Mono Red Aggro. It's a standard best of one list with average converted mana cost 1.9, 19 non-creatures, 18 creatures, and 23 lands. Now, the deck is mainly focused around a lot of the new cards from the Kamigawa set, and a lot of those new cards have made a deck like Mono Red happen. You've probably seen or played against a couple of versions of this deck on the ladder, and they're always pretty good. Like, they're always decent, you know, like they are decent decks. So I thought today, you know, I might, I was thinking earlier, what if I cover a mono red deck and make it my own, you know, make a version of it that's my own version. So let's break it down for you guys here and see the synergies. You've seen a lot of these cards within the Rakdos Anvil deck, but they work, right? I mean, that deck can have two sides, aggro and burn. So within this deck, we're focusing on aggro, just strictly aggro. You know, we go aggressive. We do what Mono Red has always been trying to do, just kill your opponent. You know, just go hit face and just win. So yeah, we start with two experimental synthesizers. Card is an artifact. It synergizes well with a lot of different cards here, like the smelter. It can be a sacrifice fodder for the smelter. It's a pretty good artifact to hit on the battlefield for the patchwork, and it's just an overall value card, good value card for 1 mana. So why not? 2 of them more than enough over here within this deck, because I'll explain why later. So we have 4 Kumano faces Kakazan, right? It's a 1 mana saga that has just a ton going on, right? You usually play this on turn 1, or you can play this before you play a creature, but you have to wait until the second chapter of the saga so that the creature comes onto the battlefield with +1/+1 counters, right? Also, when the saga flips, it creates a haster, and that haster is actually very good against Shambling Ghast and Eye Twitch, because it says if a creature dealt damage this turn by a source you controlled would die, exile it instead. So if you deal damage through an instant spell or a sorcery spell, or if you do damage through combat, that creature gets exiled. And when those kind of creatures get exiled, they don't get value. They don't die, basically, they just get exiled. So your Shambling Ghast, you know, if you're playing against the Shambling Ghast, it doesn't get value. If you're playing against Eye Twitch, it doesn't get value as well. So pretty good. Also, it can utilize the modification clause here, because it puts +1/+1 counter onto creatures. So very, very good 1-drop. We also have 2 rabbit batteries, haste, +1/+1, reconfigure. You know, you can equip this to a creature that you have. Also, it's very good with patchwork. It's very good with the smelter. Very good card. It's an artifact as well. This is our anti board wipe card. Yes, it's a 1/1 for 1 and it has haste, which doesn't really matter, but it's a good follow-up, right? They wipe your board, this stays on the battlefield if it was equipped, and then you play a follow-up next turn, you play a creature, and then you equip this to the creature, and now all of a sudden your creature has haste, which is not a thing that we lack within this deck. And then we get to Reinforced Ronin, four of those, the card is just insane, right? And it belongs in a deck like this. In my opinion, the card is very good. Yes, it bounces to the hand, but we utilize that, right? And the combo here is usually reinforced Ronin and the Patchwork, right? Because the Patchwork wants to get +1/+1 counters every time an artifact enters the battlefield. So this can be the fuel for that effect, you know? It bounces to hand, next turn you play it, it bounces to hand the turn after you play it, if nothing is dealt with, you know? So it's pretty good. 4 of is a must as well, because we can sacrifice it for the Smelter if it's a dead card in hand, you know? You just play this, you pay 1, and then you sacrifice the Ronin, and now you have a better attacker within the 3/1 red construct artifact creature. So very good. We also have 2 copies of Voltage Surge. It's our first removal card. It deals 2 damage to a creature or planeswalker, but if you sacrifice an artifact, it deals 4 damage instead. And we have plenty of artifacts within the deck that we can sacrifice, right? Our Synthesizer could be a pretty good combo. Our Rabbit Battery if it's a dead card. Our Ronin if it's a dead card. We can even sacrifice the Patchwork if it's the only card in hand, and then you want to play this, but you're not going to get anything out of it. You can sacrifice pretty much anything. So very good. We also have March of Reckless Joy. I've been really enjoying this card because it's a very good card when it comes to the red color, right? Red sometimes lacks within, or most of the time lacks when it comes to draw or value, and this card does it, right? It gives you value, it gives you that refuel that you need, because it's a mono red aggro deck. You're going to dump your entire hand onto the battlefield and try to kill your opponent. So sometimes if they deal with your stuff and it's a stalemate, you need to refuel your hand and apply that pressure even more. So this card does it, right? Pretty straightforward idea for this card. You just draw. You have to draw. And we get to 3 copies of Abrade, our second removal spell. Abrade is very relevant nowadays. Yes, it does not deal that damage to planeswalkers, which is the only thing that I hate about this card, to be honest, but it destroys an artifact. So you have to sacrifice something to gain something, right? Yeah, you're not going to kill a planeswalker, but you get to kill an artifact, which is pretty relevant. You know, a lot of people are playing a lot of artifacts nowadays, so you might want to get rid of them. Like you kill, for example, if you kill like an Edgar, right, and the Edgar turns into the artifact, you can deal with that artifact. You can deal with the Bankbuster. You get the idea. Relevant card within the deck and within the ladder, so we'll keep. And then we get to Sanguine Statuette. I like this card because it does 2 things, right? It makes you a 3/3 that has haste for 2 mana, and it also gives you a blood token that you can sacrifice for a lot of other things that require artifact sacrifice within the deck. So it plays a very good role here. I never really had an issue with this card. It's just a nice extension to the aggroness, or to the idea of being aggressive within the deck. The deck doesn't revolve around it, so we're not going to play 4 of them, or 3, you know, we have more room for more things, so 2 of them is more than enough. 2 of them is the sweet spot for it. And then we get to the Smelter here. The Smelter, you know, is obviously played a lot with the Anvil, and it's for a good reason. It's a very good combo with the Anvil, and that the Anvil is that artifact for that Rakdos artifact. So for one mana, at the beginning of your combat, you sacrifice an artifact. You can sacrifice, for example, the blood token, and now your statuette gets live, and you make a 3/1 haster, which is pretty good. It's an artifact as well. The only thing is, it doesn't necessarily get cast, so it does not really synergize well with the Patchwork. It gets put on the battlefield, basically. So pretty good. A decent card. It synergizes well within the theme. Since we have a lot of artifacts, we have many ways of making this card happen. Then we get to Patchwork here. Patchwork is amazing only because of the Ward 2. Only because this, obviously you can't play this card if you're not playing artifacts, and since we are playing artifacts, it's a very decent 2-drop that's kind of hard to deal with. Playing against this card is very annoying because of the Ward 2. Nowadays you have all of these March removal cards that require X, right? So if they have to pay X and pay the required mana on that card, now they even have to pay Ward to remove this card, and sometimes it's very hard to pay the Ward cost, and it leaves the opponent at a very tough spot. And obviously we can get this pretty big, so it's a very relevant card within our deck. 4 of is a must. And then we move on to our three drop slot here. We start with Reckless Stormseeker. Everyone knows what this card is. It's a werewolf. It contributes well with to the theme of the deck. It's aggro, has haste. It pumps your creatures. It can give your other creatures haste. Very decent card. I would run 4 if I had 4. I don't. Well, the 3 is going to have to do. And if I was to run 4, I'd probably cut an Abrade, probably. But I'm not sure. So I'll stick with 3. 3 is good. No complaints, right? Then we get to Magic Missile. Magic Missile here, it can't be countered. It deals 3 damage. You can hit face with it. You can hit pretty much any target. But the idea behind this card is that sometimes you're going to face other creature decks, right? And other creature decks, a lot of them have like those tiny creatures that are so annoying, right? They can act as chump blockers and just prolong that game. And for us, prolonging the game is terrible for our game plan. We just don't grind. We don't go the long distance. We just try to kill you as fast as possible, right? So we have to get rid of these small creatures. This card has proved its value within the deck, and I just love it, right? We finished a game. We finished a player with this card one time. This card can act as a lot, right? It can remove planeswalkers, it can remove small creatures, so why not, right? And then we get to Meteor Swarm. Meteor Swarm is the card that does pretty much what Magic Missile does, but for X, right? And the X here is the targets. I've always been a fan of this card, but this card is only good when you have like 5+ mana, because in order for you to have 2 targets, you have to pay 5 mana, which is the 3 required, and X equals 2. So it deals 8 damage. 8 damage is very relevant because you can remove 2 big things, and that's why the card is here, right? It's our other removal and final removal spell. And then we get to our top end here within Thundering Raiju. Honestly, if I had 4, I would play 4 as well. I don't have 4, so 2 is going to have to do. We've seen this card a couple of times. It was pretty good every time we've seen it. It plays very well within the deck because a lot of things here with this deck get +1/+1 counters. So this card is never a dead card, right? As soon as it comes down, it has haste. It can put a +1/+1 counter. It can make a modified creature, basically, and then it deals damage to your opponent. So what more do you need, right? I mean, we're doing the thing with this deck, right? We're dealing damage to face. We're dealing damage with creatures. We're getting creatures big. We're attacking every turn with haste. So it's pretty good. Extra necessary when it comes to my opinion here, especially since we have this Saga here that puts +1/+1 counters, which usually modify creatures. We have a creature here that can get modified. We have a lot of things here, right? So the clause where it says deal X is the number of modified creatures you control. Yeah, you can have like 3 modified creatures, and now all of a sudden every time you attack you deal 3 damage to face, and that's before dealing damage with your creatures. So very good. And that does it for the deck. Very straightforward, very easy to play. It's just the only hard thing about this deck is your sequence, right? Sometimes you open up with multiple 1-drops and like a couple of 2-drops, like the Smelter and the Patchwork, and you just have to keep in mind what is the thing that you're supposed to play first. But it all depends on what you're playing against, right? I mean, if I'm playing against control, I'd probably play the Patchwork first. If I'm playing against a creature deck, I'd probably play the Smelter and try to just make a creature every turn that can kill their creatures, right? Not necessarily deal damage, just kill their creatures and open up the way for us. It all depends on what you're playing against, but you just have to keep in mind the sequence of what to play first, right? And you obviously have to hit things on curve. It's very important for any aggro deck, or any deck in general, to be honest. Not mainly control, but aggro is very important to hit things on curve. So that being said, we run 23 lands, pretty low curve, but we do need the lands because we have to hit things on curve, so we do need the lands. I'm not gonna run 22, I'm not gonna run 21 or anything like that. 23 is my sweet spot for this deck. 24 is a little too much. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the games. I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay. It's been pretty fun playing this deck, and I'm always trying to come up with new ideas and new decks that don't really get that much coverage, I would say, by other creators. So yeah, that's the idea here. Make sure you leave a like on the video. It'll help me out greatly, and I'll be very, very appreciative. And yeah, subscribe to the channel for that long journey. We're pumping out videos, video a day at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's my time. I'm probably going to change it up soon, but you know, for now it's at 7 a.m. a video every day. So yeah, enjoy the ride, enjoy the content, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. Okay, bye. All right, let's get it going. This is pretty good. I think we'll lead with the Saga here. Play Patchwork on turn 2. Turn 3 we can play another Patchwork and the Ronin. We also have removal. This hand is very ideal here. Let's see what we're playing against. The Saga is very good against Loth, that's for sure. Why are they not attacking? Okay. That's pretty good. We also drew a land, which is very good. Old Rutstein. Sure. Make a treasure token. Alright. So we can kill the Rutstein. We can definitely kill the Rutstein here. Play another Patchwork. Or we play the Statuette first and then kill the Rutstein. I think I like that idea a lot better. Or maybe we can wait, get the Patchwork to be a little big. I think I like that idea as well. They have Meat Hook mana, that's for sure. What do we play here? Rutstein can gain them a lot of value. So I think we have to get rid of it. This way we can attack as well. Get rid of the blood token, get a haster as well. It's pretty good. We attack here. Let's put in some damage. Yeah, they'll double block the Patchwork, right? Oh no, okay. Yeah, but they don't get value off of it, which is pretty good. All thanks to the Saga here. So they've got 1, 2, yeah, they've got Meat Hook mana. But we have a pretty nice follow-up here. Okay, no Meat Hook. That's better for us. So they're after the Statuette here. That's okay. Pretty decent. This is an enchantment. It's not an artifact. Binding. Okay. Binding is fine. Oh, they killed that. Okay. Alright, so. This is kind of tricky here. We can sacrifice the Statuette, make the 3/1 construct, right? Do we like that idea better? I think so. Because next turn they're going to have 5 mana, that's -3 if they have the Meat Hook. So I think we're going to have to get this bigger, a little bigger. But I also want to get in for some damage. Yeah. Sacrifice this, that's fine. Yeah, just deal as much damage as possible for the time being. pretty good. I mean, we're doing our thing here. We're being aggressive, so that's pretty good. We also have draw. We have a pretty nice follow-up. They have to deal with the smelter here. If they don't, I'm just going to play the Ronin, sacrifice the Ronin, and get another one here. Yeah, that's okay. That's completely fine. A braid. Okay. It sucks that we're not drawing at least one more land. We would have had so many options here, but I think we go as planned, right? First, let's get the Ronin down. Do I sacrifice the Ronin? Ronin is pretty good with the patchwork. Okay. Do we invest though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So they have blood on the snow. I don't think we invest. Okay, so let's see here. Do we get rid of a braid? No? Yeah, let's just draw 2 cards. Sure. That's fine. Decline. Let's attack here. They gain life. We'll give it back to them. We don't want to invest. We don't want to go all out knowing that they run snow, which is probably blood on the snow. You know, it's the same old deck. Golgari, blood on the snow. Yep. You just know it. That's pretty good. That has to be good. Alright. Two Ronins? That has to be good. So what do they get here? They probably get okay, it's another one of these. That's fine. We still have one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So they didn't get Mascot Exhibition. They took a Ronin. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, they can pay the mana here. They've been pretty resilient, but that's what their deck is about, right? Resiliency and removal, basically, and value. Bala get recovery. Let's just play the Ronin here. We can kill them as well, I mean. Yeah, that's game. Good game. Pretty good. That was nice. We were on top the entire time. Alright, what is this about? This is pretty good. I'll keep. We go first. This has to be decent. We're not going to play the synthesizer just yet. Play Ronin here. Get in for that 2 damage. And the card is just insane, right? Patchwork and Ronin. The combo is just crazy, right? The fact that you can return this to hand over and over. I'll play Patchwork here, for sure. Get it down and ticking. Next turn we can attack with it, which is pretty good. Well, it depends on what they have, right? So, what's the holdup? Is our... yeah. I think our opponent is slowly disconnecting there. 2 Thundering Raijus, though. Check for traps. Okay. Yeah, they took the Ronin. Of course. Of course. We drew a land. Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see what we get off of the land. Another land. That's fine. Deal that damage. The Raiju comes down next turn. Pretty good. Oh, so it's Mardu. Okay. Control? Yeah. Yep. Surge is not going to do us any favors here. We do need that extra land though. Just pass. Yeah. Smarto discard. Pretty annoying. Get rid of that. Submit 0. Nice. This is exactly what we needed. Right here. They're almost dead. Pretty good. So a Meat Hook Massacre here pretty much puts us at a very tough position, but the discard is just terrible for us, right? I mean, what can we do? Our deck loses value rapidly, so discard is like our worst enemy. So yeah, that's what it is. That's what happens. Okay. What are you? Nothing. That's a good sign. That's a pretty good sign. That's a very good sign. We keep drawing lines. Okay. Let's get this bigger. A little bigger than a Meat Hook Massacre. They have to take the block here. Vanishing Verse. Why would you activate it after it gets the effect? I do not understand. Okay, let's just try to finish it up and kill them here. Hopefully we don't get wiped just yet. Certainly not double white for any Doom Scars or any white board wipes, which is pretty good. Now I'm guessing all the cards in their hand are like discard. And we have nothing to discard. Basically anything we get here, we just play right away. Yeah, they just pass, okay. Alright. We attack here. You just have to apply that pressure. You have to. No Wandering Emperor. They don't have the mana. Wandering Emperor doesn't even do anything because this has ward, so pretty good. But they do have something. They didn't pass just like that. Yeah, March. Okay, that's what they had. Yeah, so tons of removal, disruption. Yeah, we'll just pass here. We drew nothing but lands, but it's expected, you know. Maybe I should knock it down to 25 lands, maybe. Oh, I mean, 23 lands? Maybe. Burn down the house, sure. March is pretty good. March is really good, but let's take the opportunity since they're tapped. Yeah, put them down to 1. 1 life is pretty good. They are tapped, so I think if I were them, I'd create blockers instead of wiping the board, honestly. But they had to get rid of the patchwork here because it's so annoying with the ward, right? He took the draw. That's game. Pretty good. Pretty good. Alright. It's whatever. Hand is whatever. Turn 1 Ronin. Okay. Mono green. Hello. So Ronin and... Yeah, okay. Ronin again. Okay. Hopefully no pack leader. Hopefully, but you know they have it. They're going in. Yeah, pack leader, sure. We've got nothing to sacrifice. That's the issue here. So in order for this card to be successful, as soon as it hits the battlefield, you need to have a artifact. I mean, we have to go for it. Okay. No. That's our top end. Yeah, you can't beat mono green. I'm not sure about this deck. I'm really not sure about this deck. We're not drawing any removal, which sucks, you know? It really does. Yeah, of course I'm not gonna trade. They have a trick. They have a combat trick. Man, these lands are terrible. Terrible. Just absolutely terrible. Alright, play Ronin. Play this. It's whatever. Another land. That's absolutely insane. That's just crazy. Stormseeker that we can't even play? Sure. Why not? You know, why not? I don't think they realize, but if they would have kept the pack leader back and they wouldn't have attacked with it, I would have never attacked. Because the pack leader is big and I don't want him to get the option to basically kill any creature of mine. Yeah, they draw a card. All we need is one removal spell and we win this game. That's a removal spell. Pretty lucky. I mean, after drawing all these lands, that's the only thing I expect anymore. Yeah, that's game. Okay, here, submit to Ronin. Autopay. Pretty good. That was decent, for sure. Alright. Yeah, I guess we'll keep, right? We'll try it out. Okay. Let's see how we do. That was very quick. Sure. Archon of Emeria. Archon of Emeria. Okay, I think we play the Stormseeker here. Get in for that damage. We can kill the Archon. If we draw a land next turn, we can kill the Archon and play something else. I think we kill the Archon, right? I mean, they do have something. They didn't pass just to pass, right? It's Esper as well. Esper control with the Archon, maybe? Let's test the waters here. Let's test the waters. They let it through. Hopefully a land off the top. Oh. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a Wandering Emperor. So if that's the case, we don't attack with the... Yeah, we don't attack with the, with this. With the Stormseeker. Play around it as much as possible. Yep. It's got Ward. So it wasn't a Wandering Emperor, but we played it well. We played it really well. Has Ward. So it doesn't work. Well, at least they tried it out, right? I mean, we need to land off the top. Desperately. Meat hook for 2. Pretty good for us. For sure. Has to be decent. Okay, let's see how control does against us. We're not applying that large amount of pressure every game. I mean, they do have removal, they have answers, right? But it's good that they're not really investing anything in here. We just go ahead with the third one, I guess. Yeah, we just go ahead with the third one for sure. We can play the Statuette, we can play this, but I think we apply as much pressure as possible. 3 back-to-back is kind of insane. Yep. But that's how Magic works, right? That's exactly how Magic works. So even if they gain life here, even if they play the Wandering Emperor and gain life, they die. That's why I distributed the power here. Okay, they exile 1. Is that enough? No, it's not. If they have a grasp here, they die. An Infernal Grasp. Yeah, I think they're just dead. Yeah, if it's a grasp, they die. If it's a march, I don't know. If it's a march, I think they survive, for sure. But they have to exile March of Wretched Sorrow. They have to exile something from their hand. I do think it's a march. March of Otherworldly Light. They exiled a Wandering Emperor. That has to be good for us. I mean, I'm so happy with that. We have the Statuette. I'm happy with that. Like, truly happy with that. That's not good enough. Good game. Good game for sure. I mean, how do we end it? Sure, whatever, you know. That's pretty good. That is not enough, my friend. That's decent. Has to be. Alright. Slow, 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 slow. Stormseeker is fast, but, I mean, what are the odds, right? Do we keep this? Not really all that explosive, to be honest. This is... I'm gonna mulligan this one. Pretty much the same hand. A little better. Yeah, I think I'll keep this. Take this out. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Yep. They passed. That's a Jwari. We have to play on curve. No Jwari. Okay. So just expensive spells in hand, I guess? Question is, do we play the Stormseeker here? Do we risk playing the Stormseeker? Let's attack first. Yeah, they don't get value off of that, which is pretty good. Deadly Dispute. Okay. Sure. We have to play around that. I mean, it has haste. It would have been nice, but... Oh, Meat Hook Massacre. Yeah. I shouldn't have invested. I really shouldn't have invested like that. All we have in hand is removal now. Imrith. Desert Doom. Imrith is a thing. I'll trade with Imrith if they want to. I'll trade. They don't want to trade. Sure. Our curve has been pretty crazy, right? Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. Pretty good. This is the ideal scenario for any aggro deck. Just pressure, right? Okay, they've got options, that's for sure. They can gain life. They'll be left with 3 mana. They're not going to attack with the Imrith, but they're not defending at the same time, so maybe they do want to attack with the Imrith. Behold the unspeakable. Okay. Come on, that's lame. Attack with the Imrith. Okay. Okay, what do we do here? So this can get to a 4/4, which is not enough. I think we're going to have to play the Statuette here no matter what. I mean, we can get the Statuette to be big. But I like the Surge. Surge would not kill Imrith though. Maybe we can discard it, but it's 1 mana, it's an instant as well. Maybe we can discard Magic Missile as well. We can get this to a 5/4. Is it worth it? Applying that much pressure. I guess we just chill here. We just chill. See what their follow-up is. They're probably blowing up the board. They attack first, they blow up the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 mana. They have a 5 mana. They have a -3 on the Meat Hook Massacre. If it's a Shadow's Verdict, we lose everything but the Raiju. Now they have a -4. Yeah, their Imrith can survive. Okay. Gelatinous Cube. What are you going to take? That. Okay. I'm happy with that. Are they going to attack though? This flips. This can get pretty big. Yeah, they get another land. We need to kill them somehow. Imrith has been kind of a pain. For sure. So can we kill them? I'm pretty sure we can. Let's kill the cube. Take action. We go all in here. We go all in. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 12, 12, and 15. But they have to mess up with the block. That's the only way that we truly get out of this. So let's put this here. And let's put this here as well. Try to trip them with the block. They're going to want to block something small so that Imrith survives. But I'm not sure that Imrith... I mean, let's see. It's all up to them now. Smart, but that's game. 3, submit. Very good. Very good.